A bit of research and you will find that cancer, now killing 1 in every 3 Americans, is one of the biggest scams in medical history. Carcinogens are intentionally being put in your water, sodas, processed foods and pesticides to be sprayed on crops. The radiation and chemotherapies being used to treat cancer rarely work and always cause a multitude more health problems for the victim while financially draining them. The donation money and charitable organizations supposedly trying to help the cancer epidemic and find a cure are actually fueling the problem and spreading disinformation. Rockefeller monies have been used to degrade natural prevention of sickness and disease through vitamins and health foods and promote the use of drugs. Drugs are manufactured mainly from coal tar derivatives, and besides being in the oil business, the family has for decades been heavily invested in the giant drug manufacturing concerns. Gary Allen, the Rockefeller File. A quick Google search will provide you with the long-known, highly suppressed cure for cancer. All cancers thrive in acidic environments, and no cancers can survive in alkaline environments. So through a healthy, organic, alkaline diet, fruits, vegetables, alkalized water, etc., cutting down on acidic foods like meat, eggs, dairy and nuts, and raising the body's pH over 7, cancers cannot begin and existing cancers cannot continue multiplying. Needless to say, most of the foods lining grocery store shelves contain known carcinogens and a plethora of other mind-body altering chemicals, and this is by design. Nowadays, it is important to carefully choose what foods, drinks and drugs you put into your body. There is a concerted effort to make you sick, sterile and medicated every minute of every day. Everything is being covered up. The toxicities of the pharmaceuticals. You're not learning the truth about vaccinations. You're not learning the truth about various medications. The pharmaceutical industrialists, which I prefer to call the military, medical, petrochemical, pharmaceutical cartel, essentially has control over the mainstream media, and so it has control over the mass mind. And as a result of those powers that they assert, people are not given factual information upon which to make informed decisions. They're given propaganda, and as a result, the choices that people are making are genocidal. And I say genocidal with a strict definition, meaning the mass killing of people for economic, political and or ideological reasons. And those pharmaceutical industrialists are intimately connected to those people who wish to control populations. They've published literature of what their intent is. There is an organized Masonic medical insurance mafia scaring you into submission, dumbing you down, taking you for all your money and killing you slowly. Through control of the media and education, Westerners have been taught that drugs, surgery, vaccines, chemo and radiation are the only medical options available to them when they fall ill. In medical schools, dental schools and these other professional training organizations and institutions, it is a hazing process. It is trauma-based education at its worst. These interns are kept up for 3 nights in a row. What can you do under that highly stressful situation? What you can do is make a lot of mistakes and be susceptible to mind control, virtual hypnosis. You graduate with no education in nutrition, you graduate with no knowledge of holistics and natural healing, and you're ultimately a mind-controlled, manipulated slave of the pharmaceutical industry. And in that position, all you can do is simply spout out the mainstream concept that healing involves chemical manipulation and intoxication. There's no room whatsoever for the mind-body-spirit concept. There's no room whatsoever for the health educational, behavior change, lifestyle modification, risk reduction concept. You now leave medical training, you engage in medical practice, you've got about $250,000 to $500,000 in bills and loans hanging over your head, you've got no time for people, all you've got is a prescription pad and an education based on this whole manipulation. The tragic truth is that many of the diseases plaguing our world have been intentionally created and spread, and their treatments don't cure them or promote health. They simply hide symptoms, further destroy the patient's immune system, and turn them into a lifetime customer of the pharmaceutical industry. Many diseases like ADD are just invented out of thin air by so-called experts to sell more drugs. Let me give you another example of an invented disease, hepatitis. That's right. In truth, you have people suffering from liver toxicity. That is what hepatitis really is. The germs said to cause hepatitis are really only minor adjuncts at best. There are hundreds of reasons a person may have an overburdened and toxic liver. Drugs of all kinds, including medical drugs, contaminated water supplies, and inhalation of uranium dust, and so on. In fact, we are now hearing about uranium-induced hepatitis, a contradiction in terms if there ever was one. If uranium is causing the liver to fail, then that is what is wrong, and the word hepatitis does not apply at all. If someone hits you over the head with a big hammer and you become disabled for the rest of your life, is that Alzheimer's? John Rappaport, AIDS Inc. Scandal of the century. 1-2. Unless we put medical freedom into the Constitution, the time will come when medicine will organize into an undercover dictatorship. To restrict the art of healing to one class of men and deny equal privileges to others will constitute the Bastille of medical science. All such laws are un-American and despotic and have no place in a republic. The Constitution of this republic should make special privilege for medical freedom as well as religious freedom. Benjamin Rush, George Washington's personal doctor and a signer of the Declaration of Independence. One recommended book is Kevin Trudeau's Natural Cures They Don't Want You to Know About. Trudeau, a journalist, gathers medical reports, facts and figures and presents the cheap, effective, natural remedies used by herbalists in the Eastern and ancient worlds. He shows how big pharmaceutical companies literally steal secrets from African, Asian, South American tribesmen, extract the chemicals from plants, then patent pills and raise the price around 4,000% while suppressing or buying out alternatives in the same area. The Rockefeller Institute for Medical Research was established in New York in 1902 and by 1928 had received $65 million in endowment funds from John D. Rockefeller. This is tens of millions of dollars more than funding appropriated by the federal government for medical research. This trend of private funding has continued until present day. Does the Rockefeller-run American Medical Association do everything it can to ensure that doctors know the truth about health and do the most to ensure the safety of the patient? No. Let's consider these facts. Louis Pasteur, shortly before he died, stated that he was possibly mistaken about his germ theory. He said that germs and viruses might be the result of the disease instead of the cause. The way this could be explained is that the body overloads on toxic buildup and produces symptoms of stress. Then necessary bacteria or viruses move in to scavenge the toxins, creating an abundance of these in the system and leaving a super toxic waste byproduct behind, which the body has a difficult time expelling. Therefore, the presence of the virus or high bacteria count is a result of the disease and not the cause. A couple of very important things to realize when considering this possibility are: 1. A person does not need to be exposed to another individual to come down with a cold. People living in small communities with no outside exposure can come down with colds and disease. 2. People with no disease can sleep with people and exchange bodily fluids with people with HIV and not be infected. Considering these facts further weakens the germ theory of disease. If this information is true, then the introduction of prescription and pharmaceutical drugs would only serve to mask the symptoms of the problem and slowly destroy the immune system, since these drugs are highly toxic.